Mama said, girl, you better learn how to pray. Oh, you've got a soul to save. Girl, you've been looking for an education. Child, you better fall on your knees before you fall in the wrong direction. Through many a trials I have known, trying to give my children a happy home. Times of trouble and tears from worry, oh, I try to keep my head held high, teach my feet not to be in such a hurry. Oh, it was a cold February morn, East Texas baby girl was born. I prayed for her soul to sing a righteous song. Oh, and when my head grows cold, Lord, keep her in a light that's strong. Mama said, girl, you better learn how to pray. Oh, you've got a soul to save. Child, you've been looking for an education. Ain't nothing wrong with that now. Girl, you better fall on your knees before you fall in the wrong direction. You better fall on your knees before you fall in the wrong direction. Mama say.
All right, everybody. Welcome to another 20 Question Tuesdays with me. Oh, yeah. I'm Jeff Plankenhorn. And we got Ruthie Foster today. and it's going to be pretty special. And some of you know, first of all, I want to thank Austin Music TV for having us on cable channel 1699 on ATT Uverse. For those who don't know, this thing started, everybody was locked down with the pandemic and trying to do something for fun, and just showed up and started doing a workshop on Tuesdays mornings here on the Pacific Northwest Coast, and 1 p.m. in Texas. And it just kind of took off and became this beautiful thing. I was getting questions from musicians and guitar players and songwriters and people who just love music. And then Sheila Steele asked me if I would put this on Austin Music TV. And when I did, I decided that because this app works so great, I was going to start having guests. And started out with my friend Michael O'Connor. And let's see, we've had Jamie Harris and Scrappy Judd Newcomb and Pat Byrne and Nakia and Bill Kirchin and all sorts of people. And the rest of the month is going to be filled out with Carolyn Wonderland and Ray Wiley Hubbard. So that'll be fun the next week and the next. But for right now, I want to introduce to you, everybody, my friend Ruthie Foster. And we're going to just have a good old conversation. And thank you so much for being here. Hello, Ruthie.
Hey, honey.
How
you doing?
I'm good. So you get a little lunch?
Oh, we're making this thing
there?
work. I did. Time here in Bill Austin, and we're in the middle of online learning. So I am Yaya. I'm mom today. So yeah, you caught me in the middle of back and forth, but I got just enough time to try to do myself up, so I'm ready here.
Oh,
but yeah,
beautiful.
Thank you, darling.
I obviously spent a lot of time too. This doesn't just happen, Ruthie. This takes a lot.
You're
of work.
looking fabulous.
Thank you, baby. So we got all sorts of beautiful people asking questions online and everything. And how are you and your family doing during the pandemic?
Oh gosh, well, we're good. We got Maya, 9-year-old, going to 4th grade, and she's going back and forth between me and her other mom. So we're making it work, really. It's
right.
Between live streams and doing a lot of interviews online, obviously, and doing a lot of writing, trying to do some writing with you. In fact,
yeah, we have been doing a little bit, and it's been really, really good. Look forward to doing some more. I was listening to the live album this morning when I was getting stuff together again, and I've listened to it a bunch. But hey, let me put that here so anybody who's looking for it. We're on public, so just like on other things, we can't do the call to action. I forgot to tell you that, but you know how it goes. But as you can see right here, this is a great place for you to find out about Ruthie and what's going on. But I was listening to it, and I love that Maya did the intro to your show. And I highly suggest, if you're listening to that album, you get to hear this beautiful intro from your daughter.
Yeah, she practiced that, and
really? It sounded just totally natural.
Well, she is a natural, but she got out there and she saw all of these people, and then she got that usual, oh, okay, I'll keep this short. So she kept it pretty short.
Yeah.
And it was my idea. We were trying to figure out how to, begin the show with something really special, and I thought, well, here's my kid. She's going to be there, and
Yeah.
she loves my music, and she just loves being around musicians too. So why not? And she did a great job.
Did she go off and then kind of come back on for that last thing that she said? Did she kind of come back?
Yeah, that was the other
felt
thing
like it.
she was going to add, and I told her, go ahead and finish. You practiced the whole thing. So I had her to add the please
beautiful.
Enjoy the show at the end.
Well, I got to tell you, okay, let's see. Stephen Carolyn's all the way here from Ireland. Susan Darrow's here from KPFT in Houston. Peter Blackstock's here. So I should also say thank you to Peter Blackstock for making this and my other residency tonight, residency of the month, and doing that great thing in the paper. But in the comments, I talked to Ruthie a little while back about dealing with the pandemic and about her live album. If anybody wants a post, show reading assignment. So pretty cool. There's a link in there. It's really, really great whenever we're doing this. If we start talking about something, everybody who's just kind of talking in the comments will like, if you say, "Oh, I really, really love such and such a song," somebody will like put up a YouTube of it, and it's just great because everybody's kind of talking to each other, and all these people who don't necessarily know each other, which I have found has been another sort of blessing amongst all this weird form of communication. Aside from the fact that whenever I'm on this, because of the delay, I almost always interrupt my guest, and so I apologize in advance for when that happens.
Yeah, it's the worldwide interwebs. We do what we can.
Right, we're doing the best now.
Oh, this is great. Yeah, you can see everybody in the chat. Oh, I love this.
I know.
Hey, everybody.
Like, it integrates all the chats from the 4 different platforms. And then, of course, if anybody's, I know a bunch of people who will watch on the television channel, but they'll get on the forum so they can chat and ask questions and stuff like that. I don't know. It's pretty cool. Who'da thunk?
It is.
I've got some great questions to start with, but I just want to say one other thing. I bet you don't remember where we met. But I'm not going to put you on the spot. I'm just going to tell you because I got it in my mind. Okay? So it's 1999, and I have not moved to Texas yet. And I get a call from Ray Wiley Hubbard, and he says, "Hey, let's go on the road and do a little tour, and you come down to Texas and you see if it's going to be fun and if you like it." I said, "All right." And so we're going across the Southwest, and we end up in Columbia, South Carolina at a house concert.
Yeah.
And you and your partner at the time, Sid, were there, and we both did a show. And I just realized today that was, we've known each other over 20 years.
Has it been 20? Wow.
Can you believe it?
And I remember that show in Columbia.
Yeah.
I don't remember the fellow who put on the show. Maybe somebody comment who may know something about that.
It was a living room.
It was practically his living room. I remember being there while he was setting up his chairs, and he was making sure they were aligned just right. Yeah. And I think Sid commented on, "Okay, make sure they're just perfect now." Because he was that
really
type.
Wanted to make it. Yeah, he was definitely that type.
Yeah, he was that type, and his comment was, I know it's a problem, and people usually take medication for it, but I'm not taking it.
Oh, that was good. See, now you remember more from that night than I do then.
I remember that.
But back then it was probably Runaway Soul time. Yeah. It was a lot of the tunes like that, like Small Town Blues, and you were doing Terry's Hole in My Pocket, I think. And, it was just such a wonderful, and there's people saying, that's a heck of a house concert. But that's one of the things that I tell people, is that, house concerts for the people who are up and coming, it's really like such a blessing, for people who are kind of coming up. A lot of people get to a point, maybe like yourself and Ray Wiley, they get to a point where they just can't do them anymore, and it's a rare thing. But on the way, it's a pretty special thing.
It is. It's a great way to, kind of drop out of a tour for a little bit and get a lot more intimate with even your own self, your music, and with an audience, and get a chance. Throw in a few other different types of songs, even because even some of the house concerts I remember doing, there's no mic, so you have the room, and so
totally acoustic.
It is a lot of the times, and that's fine, and that takes me back to just being this little 6-year-old in church and we didn't have a great PA system. We had one, but you didn't use it because it just made everything sound worse. So you learn how to use the room, and you learn how to, for me, it gave me a chance to play more and to be a better player, to play guitar, and you get a chance to really just, be one-on-one with everybody, practically. You're just right in front of you. You got one guy who's sitting right in front of you.
Yeah, so you got to be careful about, this
Yeah,
kind of thing too. You got to
the
not
spit
eat right
angle.
before the show, and because
Yeah,
you can cause problems. But it's such a beautiful. It is such a beautiful thing. And I've
yeah,
seen so many people kind of, come up that way, and they go, "Wait, you met her at a house concert?" And
yeah.
it's like, yeah, everybody does have to start someplace. Well, let's dive in because we've got some good ones. I got a really, really great question from a friend of mine from Ohio. He's a professor and he's an avid music lover and really, really cool cat. And he says, how does an idea come about, and how do you think, like, come up with an idea to reinterpret a song? And he means such as, like, he gave a great example, which is how you do Ring of Fire.
Hmm.
And I know there's probably not an easy answer for that, but I know myself that just doing a song that has the same instrumentation or the same beat or anything like that, it's like, well, you can do that. But
Hmm.
something like the way you did Ring of Fire was a real, like, making it your own. Could you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, Ring of Fire really kind of came up when I had just come off of a tour with Bo Diddley. I was on a tour with Bo Diddley and Alvin Youngblood Hart, and it was a
Mm.
long tour. It was the longest tour I'd been on. That wasn't my own tour, about 2.5 months, and it was a long time to be out. I got really sick on my way back home, which is something we as musicians, traveling musicians, you just plow through.
Oh yeah, you
Yeah,
can't. You got to do the gig.
yeah, you're sick, whatever. Yeah. Yeah, get your 75 minutes, 90 minutes in, and then go fall down. It's out
Yeah,
there.
I'll be all right.
Yeah, and then, stay upright long enough to get on the plane, fall down, get off the plane, you're home. You're good,
That's exactly it, right?
right? You make it.
Hmm.
And so I made it home, and I found out I had the flu, and so I was on this medication. My
Woo!
doctor put me on some serious medication to make me stop because I was in that place where I didn't know how to just quit.
Yeah.
So it made me just stop. And I remember I had my studio, a little small desk set up with everything I needed to play, and my piano next to my bed. I lived in this one bedroom apartment up in North Austin off of Olin Road.
Mm.
And I crawled out of bed because I had this idea, of the Ring of Fire, and I just started playing piano. But I couldn't figure out the chords because my mind was just, swimming on all kinds of
Yeah.
interesting things my doctor put me on. And so my doctor put me on, prescribed.
This wasn't
Um,
recreational.
no, no, definitely some strong prescription medicine. And I started with in the key of C, and I was trying to figure out the song, and I hit wrong chords, and then I just kind of went to chords that felt good. You notice the song, my version has a lot of major sevens in it, and it's got a couple of very different types of chords. It just goes a different way. And so I was thinking Nora Jones. I started playing kind of Nora Jones uh, style and just kind of doodling around on the piano, and decided to slip Ring of Fire, the words, in this this music idea that I had come up with, and it fit. And so that's pretty much how Ring of Fire kind of came about, just kind of mixing a style with very different types of lyrics. And there it was. I recorded it right there. Just, you hit record and you go. So yeah, that's how that happened. What else we got? Uh-oh. Did I lose you, Jeff? Uh, okay. Are we still up? Anybody let me know if we're still up? Because we're still up. I'll talk to everybody. Yes? Ah. Okay. All right. So you guys talk to me. You can chat to me, and then I'll talk to you here. Oh yeah, Copland. Hey Nancy. Nancy still up? She says we're still up. Sing a song? Uh-oh. I don't have a guitar with me. I don't have a guitar with me. So I'll sing something. Whoa, yeah. Darling, you send me. I know that you send me. Whoa, you send me. Honest you do, honest you do. Whoa, you thrill me. I know that you thrill me. Oh, you thrill me. Honest you do, honest you do, honest you do. Anybody know the bridge? At first I thought it was infatuation, but oh, it's lasted so long. And now I find myself wanting, I want to marry you and take you home. Whoa, you send me. I know you. Oh, you send me. Darling, oh, you send me. Honest you do, honest you do, honest you do. Okay, did that. What we got? Oh my God, I'm getting love. Shawnee Kilgore, hey mama. Yeah, I got a chance to record one of her songs, Shawnee. Who else is here? Thank you. I got applause. How about this? Oh, so good, says Peter. Oh yeah, I did an interview with you, Peter. Yeah. Good to see you on board. Thank you, everybody. So this is my bedroom. You're looking at this is my Butsudan over here. So you can see this is where I pray. So I thought this would be fitting for me to do an interview set up where I do my prayer and my meditation, which I've been doing a lot of in the last few months. We've all been going through some pretty interesting and some of us difficult times, but you know, you make the best out of what you got. I happen to have a 9-year-old who keeps my world pretty busy spinning on most days. So when you got kids, you know, they don't give you a chance to be down about anything. You know, a kid wakes up and, you know, it's just another chance at life, another chance to
There's Ruthie.
aha.
Oh my goodness. I don't know what happened. That's a first. So hopefully we still have a lot of people with us. So thank you. Ruthie,
Yeah,
I'm so sorry about that, hon.
it's okay. We got a chance to sing, and someone's asking me about my Butsudan. I have my meditation.
Oh, so they kept you on?
Yeah,
Oh, that's so good.
yeah.
I'm hardwired through Google or through fiber or whatever that is, but first time for everything, I guess. Okay, so did I interrupt when I jumped back on?
No, it was. I just got a chance to sing and
You sang?
talk about. Yeah, I did a little Sam Cooke, and we've been chatting away. Someone's. Peter Blackstock's here. He's commenting on me and asking. You're great at asking questions.
Oh, you did Sam Cooke with that. You did Sam Cooke. See now, we have a question every week. I hope you finished your little thing on Ring of Fire.
I hope so. Yeah.
I hope so too, and I hope you answered that question a little bit. Yes, and yes, ATX Quintero, Adrian, I do know it is the Ruthie Foster show with Plank. So there we go. It's okay. You guys can make as many jokes about me as you want. I am here for that. But now I know, for me, like, you've known me a long time and know that I'm kind of a freak about Stevie Wonder and I own everything he ever did and all that kind of stuff. I know that one of your biggest influences, of course, is Sam Cooke. But what people generally get on this show, there's only really one question that I ever ask that's like the Jeff question. And the Jeff question is, what is your guilty pleasure? And what I mean by that is, what do you listen to that is like the kind of thing like, I don't know if I would tell everybody that I'm really into that. Now, it's funny, some of us are not so, see the look on your face. For me, it's when I grow up, my mom was always playing Barry Manilow.
Yes.
For real. And like, I don't listen to it. I don't pull it up. I don't pull up those songs. But when they come on, I get like this nostalgic feeling. And so I always like to ask people what their guilty pleasure is. And I've gotten some really good off the wall answers from people. But is there something that's like, yeah, they might be surprised to people that I really listen to this a lot.
That's a really good. I'm looking into my iTunes and seeing if there's something there that someone wouldn't expect me to have. Yeah, I mean, being in New Jersey, I listen to Springsteen a lot. In fact, I studied a lot of Springsteen's his live shows because.
Oh yeah, he's an artist.
His live shows were it. And I remember my early live shows when I lived in College Station, just up the road here, Bryan College Station. I designed a lot of my shows based on what I studied from Springsteen. Yeah, and it's just really about involving the audience and and just rocking out just because you can, right? Gosh, who would stand out? I don't know.
Joel
because
Mora. It's so funny when people they always want to chime in there. Like Joel Mora from the Old Court Acoustic Cafe says, "I got mess for loving the Eagles."
I love the Eagles. Hush,
sure.
Whoever you are.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
No.
Gosh.
Well, you know what?
I don't know if there's anything, if anything, there's it's not necessarily music, but, I watch cartoons. I have a kid, so I find myself watching what she's watching. But,
You got a favorite old cartoon?
Oh, Tom and Jerry.
Tom and Jerry's great.
Yeah, I grew up. I had Tom and Jerry comic books. Loved those. For me, it's I listen to. I listen to a lot of meditation music, but that may be expected from some folks out there. I tell you, okay, there's somebody that does stand out for me. Pete Thorne. I don't know what it is about Pete Thorne that stands out for me.
Right on.
I love
not necessarily a guilty pleasure, not a guilty pleasure,
not
but
guilty. I like
you know what I mean.
Thorne.
It's like, man, I dig this, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I like what he's putting out in the universe too. So, yeah, the folks that come to my shows, and I know they know that I do a little bit of. I try to put a little bit of everything. But let me think about that. We can move on.
I like it. We'll go back to that. All right.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, this is a kind of a deeper question, and I really like it. Speaking of house concerts, a friend out in Jersey, Molly Lentz, she asked, and I know how I feel about this question, but I'm very curious as to your take on it. She says, right now, some people really push back against any mention of God or religious themes. And do you find it easier to write songs that subtly include gospel themes, or do you try and keep the two separate? And I mean, I kind of know this answer because I know you, and I know, but it is a good thing to talk about, because I think that people understanding is a really, really, really important thing that's being pushed to the front right now, And, but what's your take on that, as far as like sacred versus secular, or the mixing of the two, or the whole SBNR thing, like spiritual but not religious, which is
no, I get that, and I respect that. And that's funny. I just finished doing an interview on Black culture for a friend of mine, and it brought a lot of things up that I hadn't thought about. And one of the questions was about faith and what does that mean to my culture? But I tell you, I grew up missionary Baptist, and I think I mentioned that in a lot of my shows. That's no surprise to people that come to my shows. So that's in here, that gospel musically definitely in there in what everything I do, and it's in my belief too. However, you see, I have a butzadon behind me,
right?
And so
for those who don't know,
those who don't know, it's set up for my meditation, because I want to say about maybe 30 years ago, it's been now, I got into Nichiren Daoshin Buddhism, and so practice that. I don't practice anything in particular when it comes to religion, because it's all about the one for me. And it's all about
Didn't
being.
you meet Pema Chodron? Didn't you meet Pema Chodron
I
in
did.
the airport? You told me that story, and it meant so much to me. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But
No, I met Pema when, oh my gosh, and it was one of those moments where my flight had been canceled 3 times. It moved to a different gate 3 times within like 3 hours of being in San Francisco airport. And I was at that place where everybody else was, where you're just irritated, and you're frustrated, and you're tired, and you're hungry, and you want to cry, and babies are crying around you, and you want to cry with them, And I remember sitting on the floor, and I pulled out my laptop and, just distract myself. And I saw this what she wears. I saw this color. I saw the color of her. I saw the hem of her garment.
Yeah,
walk
right.
Past me, right? She practically, and she was on her way to, obviously, like the rest of us, rushing to try to get to a gate, because it was one of those days every flight was just running late, or just didn't take off at all. And I followed her. I was trying not to make it look like I was chasing her, but I was. And I tapped her on the shoulder, and I told her how much her word, her wisdom, her books, just her being here meant to me. And I don't even remember what she said. I just saw her mouth.
You told me what she said. You told me what she said. You don't mind if I say it?
No, go ahead.
What she said to you? Yeah, what she said to you was, she goes, "You said these things. You came up and you said these things," and she goes, "Darling, what's your name?" Because she basically was like you could also tell me your name, and just so beautiful too, because she wanted like a personal connection with you, and she wanted, because I mean, she just kind of has that beyond spirituality, but going back to the question, this is what we're talking about, is like, which I think was what Molly was saying, was you know, a lot of us who were brought up one way or another, I can't see one of your shows and not know that you were brought up in the church because you keep music going in between songs. We've talked about this and how you kind of like improvise and play music sometimes for intros to songs. You'll be strumming a chord and doing an arpeggio as you're telling the story that brings in the next song, much like church.
Yes.
And it's just in you. But as you grow spiritually and you find what works for you and you find the path, you know, you're not really shunning anything from the past. You're bringing it all together. And like you said, about the one, you know. So just to reiterate the question.
I can pray. I can get down and pray with the best of them. And I had my moments already this week where I just had to drop down. And, you know, you get to that place where you just, okay, I can't control this. So, you know, you got to tell me what to do. And you realize in those moments that, you know, you're not in control.
No, you're powerless, right?
Because if you think you are, just live long enough. You'll find out
you're gonna
that you are not in control.
So this means that you can sing Hem of His Garment and mean it very, very seriously. And there's your Sam Cooke again. And there's, you know, the Soulsters and stuff, and you could sing that, but not necessarily, but you could sing about spirituality. What was the one I was listening to this morning? I think it was off of Promise of a New Day, Believe.
Yes.
And sort of a different take, but do you feel that they are, like she says, you know, do you keep the two separate, or do you just kind of feel it's all part of the thing?
I think it's all important if it's important to you.
There you go.
And so yes, it is all a part of one thing. I think it's okay to I think there are many avenues to get to that place where that makes you feel at peace, that makes you feel whole, makes you feel true, makes you feel special. You know, I think it's okay if, you know, it's not hurting anybody, you're not hurting yourself. It's a way to be still and just be.
Isn't that also a big key? First of all, I knew you would be able to put it eloquently, and much more eloquently than I could put it, and I feel very much the same way. But when you're not necessarily preaching, you know, the preacher's for preaching. I'm here to listen. I'm here to, you know, say my piece and stuff, but you're not really telling somebody, you know, pointing a finger, judging. You're sharing an experience. You're sharing an experience with song, right?
Yeah, that's what music is. You know, music is, you know, you mentioned, you know, you said a lot of really good things just now, and something rang true about what music means for me, and that is being a vessel. You know, when I'm singing, a lot of times there are times when I'm on stage, and you know, and I'm doing this thing where, you know, did I leave the iron on in the hotel room? There are times.
With you. Yeah.
You know, there are times when I do that,
and then you go, I just sang a verse.
Yeah,
and I was thinking about something else.
Right.
You're on autopilot, and then you're like, what am I doing? This is important. Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah. Well, you know, you're in and out of body experiences. But for the most part, when I have had a really great, when I walk away from a concert and I don't remember anything except how it just made me feel, it's the same as when audiences tell you, you know, oh my gosh, this was such a great concert. Guess what? It was for me too.
Yeah.
You know, when I walk away from a concert feeling like that, I know I was an open vessel in that space, that moment, that period of time. And that to me is what keeps me coming back to getting up at 3 a.m. to catch a 5 o'clock flight to get
the
to
stuff we really get paid for.
Yeah. That's why, what is it B.B. King said, you know, I sing for free, paid to
do all this other stuff. That's exactly
to do all the other
right.
things.
You know, I've mentioned a time or two on this show one thing that really sticks with me, and that is this. The feeling that I get when I am at a Stevie Wonder concert and I am in a show and I know he's just giving it his thing, or I'm at a show and it's just someone brand new who's pouring their heart out, and I have this feeling in my gut, in the audience. To me, that feeling is so close to the same feeling that I have when I'm on stage that it makes me realize that it is about connection. Because the same feeling that I have when I am out of body and I'm in it and I'm feeling it on stage is almost the same as when I'm listening.
Yes.
It's so close to the same feeling, having been in both positions, that it just kind of teaches me that the more I take myself out of it, then it becomes truly a conversation and that kind of thing, and I think that has something to do with it as well. Hey, we are not forgetting, just so anybody knows, it is Ham Day, as you can see by my t-shirts.
Hey.
My t-shirt here, it is Ham Day, and so everybody, yes, indeed. And also, Mrs. Artsy Pants, first of all, I have no idea who you are, but I want to know you because of your handle. That is a great handle, and somebody says that you can help me out with Twitch and help me, and that would be wonderful. I would appreciate the help. Thank you so much. While we are in the middle of the show and we're a little more than halfway over, I'm going to go ahead and say thank you again to Sheila Steele and Austin Music TV, and so very, very much. Also, thank my guest Ruthie Foster and everybody who's online giving us these great questions. This is really, 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 really fun. Here's a softball. Here's a nice softball.
Okay.
Rick Fine asks, any plans for any safe, socially distant gigs in or near Austin?
Hey, Rick, by the way. I know Rick. Gosh. I don't.
There's people doing like the backyard thing safely, but it's really tricky, and you gotta know that they are gonna be cool. It's like it's really tricky. And there's people doing the what do you call it? The drive-in thing, but again, just like one,
Yeah, I think that I'm planning. I think there's a plan for something coming up. Just check out my website. We might be working on something later in the
Here we go. Here comes the technology. There's the technology. Just put it right there.
Yeah, you can go. You too can go to Ruthie Foster. RuthieFoster.com. Yeah, check it out and check out my website. Right? I think there may be something coming up. It's a drive-in kind of thing. That's pretty cool. Can I do that?
Cool.
Hey.
It's kind of weird, isn't it? It's like I always
it's like backwards.
It's that touch of unprofessionalism. Here is a great question also from my friend Kate Howard. This one, thanks for sending this one early. For you folks that are sending in the questions early to either my newsletter or putting it in, you got a much better chance because I won't see it when it's going by always. And I apologize sometimes when I miss questions when they're going by. Thank you, Ruthie, for the song tool. Also good. Okay, from Mrs. Artsy Pants. Very, very good. A lot of people saying hi to Rick Fine. Kate Howard says, when you were in the Navy, this one's kind of funny. When you were in the Navy, did anyone compile data on the probability of successful recruitment when Pride played pop versus when they played funk?
What? Well, first of all, who?
Kate Howard likes to ask some left field questions. I think she's trying to be a little funny as far as like, did you recruit more people when in the Navy you played pop music versus playing funk music?
Right.
Did you play a lot of funk music in it? Did you?
Yeah, we did. We did.
You like
we had
Sly or Isley? Or,
yeah.
What was it?
Yes.
Yes and
we
yes.
did it all. Yeah. All you do was, Navy band Pride. Apparently, she knows that. I was in a Navy band in Charleston. And yeah, we played funk music. We did a lot of Sly. We did. It was an 11-piece band, so we had horns and pop music. Mostly, we spent a lot of time at high schools. We did high school gyms. We played in high school gyms, so the sound wasn't great, but it was all about the show. We show up in our suits, ice cream suits, and do our own
Yeah.
do our dance moves and all that. We play funk as hard as any funk band can play in a
Yeah.
Navy uniform. Oh yeah.
Who says a Navy band can't play funk? Sorry. That's gotta be an inside Funketeer joke that most people won't get. Okay, so the second question that Kate has, which I really, really like, this is a little bit more on the serious side. She said, would you recommend the study of audio engineering to any vocalist, and how has it served you?
hmm I would recommend audio engineering to anyone that sings. I think it's just really worth knowing the technology
Hmm.
and and knowing how to, especially as a vocalist like myself, when I wasn't touring with my own audio tech, you get thrown all of these different mics and you're trying to figure out how those things work. And it's always a good idea to travel with your own mic if you are a vocalist, really.
Ooh,
But
yes.
yeah,
Healthier.
especially now. But nothing's going to help the guy or girl standing behind the board, It's going to be what it is. So I think it's important to know that, especially now with also because, I'm having to up my game on my engineering skills like everybody else with recording at home, just recording
Exactly. I was
demos.
hoping you would mention that. I was hoping you'd mention that.
Yeah, it's a big deal. And, you know, I've been recording my own music and using my own digital audio workstation,
Or
DAW,
DAW, as they say.
DAW,
Exactly, the DAW.
since the Atari days, Commodore
Hmm.
64. I had a Steinberg Cubase. And I remember going to play this jazz gig in Charleston for a month that I did not want to do, but I did it for extra money to buy
We've
that
all done
particular
this.
computer so
Yeah.
that I can record my own music. And yeah, I've worked on audio workstations since, and so that has served me well. Yeah.
I gotta say too, a lot of people out there don't necessarily realize that this is such a good time to get somebody to sing on your piece of music. And I will do demos for people that aren't ready to go into the studio, and
Mhm.
and I know that you had mentioned, I think that when we were talking, or when we were co-writing a couple of weeks ago, oh, you were working on something for Kevin Welch.
Yeah. You
And
knew about that. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, well, you mentioned it, but
I did.
I didn't stalk. I'm not above that. I could have done that. Somebody I care about, but when people are sending us tracks and we're sending stuff back, I'm amazed at how really you can still make it feel and make it have feel. And of course, we all want to be in the same room with somebody making music. But a lot of times when we're in the studio, that's not happening anyway because of the logistics of all of our various careers. And there's something about really understanding how the stuff works.
Mhm.
And, I just sent something to my friend Jamie Harris, and she sent me back, and I was like, hey, do you have anything? She's like, yep, we got Pro Tools. And I was like, awesome. And so she sent me a vocal for somebody who wanted her voice on something. And it
Yeah.
was like boom, boom, boom. And it just happens quick and beautiful. Thank you. Kate Howard says, thank you, Ruthie and Jeff. That's most helpful. I'm from Savannah, by the way. Pleased to know that you were up the road in
Hey,
Charleston, Miss Ruthie.
Savannah.
Right on, right on. And yes, Mark, I'm sure that you know what DAW stands for, but not everybody does. I like
Very
this
true.
question a lot
Not
too.
everybody.
Here's another really, really great question I love, and thank you, Kate, for those. Um, Randy says, I saw Ruthie with Robin Ford at the Dallas Guitar Show a few years ago. Do you enjoy that kind of collaboration? And who else would you like to collaborate with? Before you answer, I'm going to just jump right in there like a podcaster does and talk over my guest. But I'm going to say, you are really, really generous with your time and doing what people in the business a lot of time call asks, you know,
Hmm.
and you are. But I would be curious too, like, whether it's I mean, I know how I feel about it, and that sometimes it can be really, really beautiful, and sometimes it can be really unexpected. But with regards to specifically something at the Dallas, I didn't know what you did with Robin at the Dallas Guitar Show. Was it like a thing for guitar company, or was he doing something and you were around, or do you remember what it was?
It had to be the guitar. There's a guitar show that happens there every year.
It was a few years ago.
Yeah, it was. It was a very hot day. I remember that. I think Robin was headlining on that particular day, and I played earlier. And because he and I toured together, I've toured with Robin quite a few years before that. No, it wasn't that long. With Robin and Jorma Kaukonen, we were all on tour together. We were a couple of songs. Yeah. So Robin called me up for something, and he had this incredible band that he put together from right there in Dallas.
Did he still have Roscoe playing, or was that a different?
Roscoe wasn't there, no. This was a pickup band, but they were the pickup band. I think the keyboard player went on to play with Justin Timberlake and a lot of other people. So
he's okay.
Yeah.
He's all right. Talent.
Yeah, that was fun. What was the other part of the question, though? That was another
Well, the other part of the question was like, do you enjoy that kind of collaboration, and who else would you like to collaborate with? And I always find that a tough question, because I don't sit around going, I probably should sit around and go, man, I wonder who I would love to play with, but I'm already such a dreamer. I don't usually, dream big about that all the time, but have you thought about who else you'd like to collaborate with in the future? I'd like to know a little of that. That'd be cool. Like, who's out there that, Oh,
there's so many. And those are questions I get asked all the time. After every album, it's time to go do another one. So, usually my management or my record, label will ask me, who else do you want to play with? Which is really how the last few albums happened. I've always wanted to play with. Denby will ask me. That's how I got the chance to play with Robin. He was at the top of my guitar players list,
of course,
when I did Truth, right before we went in to record Truth. Mm-hmm. And so he was my number one pick, and we got him. It was one of those things. Gosh, there's a lot of people. I'd love to work with India Arie.
Ooh, yeah. She was at the Stevie show.
Yeah.
When he was,
I would love to work with her.
Yeah,
I'd love to work with this classic. People were, part of putting out all these classics like Carole King. Some like James Taylor. Though I have had a chance to sing with James Taylor, but I'd love to get a chance to tour with James Taylor. Put it that way.
I've been working on Carole King piano songs all week.
Really?
I just love her piano playing, man.
Yeah.
It's so functional but groovy, and I like to keep myself in kid mode a lot, and kid mode means picking up an instrument that I don't know well and try and write on it and try and learn stuff and just have that play attitude. And so it's been Professor Longhair and Carole King and, trying to just learn a couple of easy piano songs. And she's not exactly as easy as I thought. I thought they were real straightforward, but she's got a great syncopation to her playing that I love. Sorry, that's an offshoot. But so people like that.
Yeah. I'd love more. Yeah, I'd love ideas. You guys just throw up some ideas of people you think I should be playing with here. I'd love to hear.
There you go.
What you think? Because I am in the middle of trying to write for another album, hopefully put out next year. So you guys shoot me some thoughts, and you've got phone numbers. Send them to me privately. Send them to Jeff.
Of course. Do it that way, right?
Sell us. Yes. Check.
There you go.
I'd love to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I got a chance. Go ahead.
Oh, I just said I find it's important, and whether it's, instrumentally, co-writing wise, singing wise, the rare duet happens, that kind of thing. It could be really beautiful.
Yeah.
But all of it's great because you just learn. You just try and soak up what you love about that person and put it into what you're doing, right?
Right. That's
Sponge a little
that's
bit.
what we're here for. Just for me, if I'm not growing and learning
Yeah, what's the
something,
point?
but this, that's a down day. It's not a bad day. It's just kind of okay. Well, this is just a me day. Just me being me day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not a bad day. Those days when I catch myself, thinking about, man, these new shoes don't necessarily, whatever, aren't fitting the way I want them to or something, when I'm supposed to be thinking of the verse, and then I catch myself, like, it's not a bad day because I'm playing music.
Yeah.
I just try really, really hard not to just go through the motions. Well, usually the alarm is the sound of Cabbage Alley, but today it was just like a boring alarm. Usually I have Cabbage Alley as the alarm saying the show's going to end pretty soon. So we got like a little less than 10 minutes. So we're going to, make sure we get through a couple of these questions. Now, this is kind of a weird question from Mark.
Okay.
This is a strange question. I mean, I don't know why he would think necessarily this would happen. Maybe he thinks this because of the pandemic. Mark, you're welcome to put some stuff in if you want to explain your question a little further. Are songwriters running out of ideas? I mean, no. What do you mean?
Maybe he thinks so.
Maybe he feels like things are. Tell me, Mark, if you feel like people are kind of like, because I know you're a music lover and I know you see a lot of stuff online. I would say, real quick, from my perspective, I have to live to keep having ideas. If all I ever do is play music and I don't hang out with people that don't play music, then all I'm going to write about is music, which is cool. And it's been done and it still needs to be done. But I'm going to write about touring, my relationship, and being on the road, touring, my relationship, and what it means to play music. It's like I've got to hang out with. I love hanging out with my wife's people because they're all gardeners. I don't know anything about gardeners. They don't want to know anything about my music. It's the coolest thing ever. Shawnee Kilgore's here. She says never, and Shawnee's one who never runs out. She never runs out of ideas for songs. But I'm sorry, you go ahead on that. You go on that question with do you run out, of stuff, or how do you find ways to replenish it? Maybe.
I know there comes times in my own, as long as I've been playing music, and I actually stopped playing music for a while. I've taken a couple of breaks before all of this happened. What is it they say? I'm a almost 40-year overnight sensation myself. I've been singing a long freaking time. Right. So, yeah, I took a break from music. That's when I joined the Navy and I worked on helicopters, did that. And I took another break from music. I came home, I took care of my mother, and I just worked at a TV station and I loved it. I loved my job and I did that. And so I always had something to write about because I was around a totally different types of people like you. I was around these people who just appreciated musicians and they appreciated, their spontaneity and the creativeness. But I think if that's something that I forget his name, if he's thinking that we're running out of ideas.
Mark, yes.
Mark, no, the ideas are always gonna come. Even if I think it's sometimes about taking a break and allowing that time to come, which is why I come back and I find myself on my mat, hello, in front of my Busadon, and just let the ideas come to you. I take a walk, just be still, turn off the TV, switch to another genre of music, and you find all
absolutely
kinds of,
right. Pick another instrument.
Another instrument. Oh my gosh, there's so many.
Try writing with no instrument at all. Try writing with a pad. Try writing with a piano. Try writing with anything.
Right, for kids. That's tough.
Oh, absolutely. It is not as easy as you think, right?
No.
Right?
So, yeah.
Mark says, very interesting answer. Thank you. Well, you're very welcome. Yeah, I think that, being able to be around people for me is definitely a cool thing, and the ideas are gonna come if you just let them, like you say. You gotta like be open to it and stuff. And I think your answer is
Yeah, I see where Miss Artsy Pants, she's got 4 kids, hard to find time to be alone to write. That's true. So I think your meditation is in what you're doing with your kids. It really is. I find myself, I woke up with my nerves about that. My nerves were running on fumes this morning because I slept with a 9-year-old. She kicked me all night. I haven't slept much. She's refreshed. She's great, right?
Yeah,
She
had a
wakes
great
up
sleep.
and you ask her, oh, I had a great sleep. And, she's ready for action. She's out here doing her thing. And, the computer goes down and she's got to come to me, and I'm trying to write I'm trying to write an interview and finish an interview.
Yeah.
And so I found myself just stop. I just made myself stop. And Jeff, you know this because I stopped to make lunch for her today. And I caught myself in making a tuna sandwich for my kid and realized, okay, today's going to work out.
Yeah,
So,
there's a centering that happens right there, right?
Yeah.
You just get.
While I'm just putting it together, today's going to work out. And I look over and she's just looking at me and smiling. And it's like you realize, okay, there's a song in here coming somewhere because I'm feeling pretty good about this particular moment. Sometimes when you think you don't have time, you stop and realize the time is right in front of you. It's not about finding, I get it. Finding time to be by yourself is a big deal, especially with 4 kids.
And everybody deserves it, especially a
yeah.
parent.
Oh, good Lord, bless us all. But sometimes those moments of really connecting and connecting to who you are is through that 8, 12, 13, God bless you, 15, 16-year-old. Sometimes it's in those little bitty moments. So it may not be about writing a song. It may be just about recognizing that you're having a chance to just be here, in this particular time. Look at it in perspective. The time that we're in right now.
Yeah.
This is huge.
We have to.
These times this is huge. People will talk about this and we're here.
It will be, and we will be. The last thing I want to do is cut you off. We got about a minute here, and so I want to thank you so much for doing this, and it means a lot to everybody out there. Thank you, everybody who has been tuning in and enjoying these shows. Ruthie, it means the world to me. One more time, I will also say, looking for information, it's right there. And don't forget that it's Ham Day as well.
Yeah.
I want to thank Sheila Steele and everybody at Austin Music TV. I want to thank everybody online. And I just want you all to be good to each other right now. Take care of those frontline workers. They mean a lot. I don't care if it's your nurse or if it's your garbage person. They are essential. We're all essential. And but it's really, really, really a good time to look out for each other. Oops, that went away. There it is again. Oh, we're almost there in about 30 seconds or so. I just want to thank you. Thank you so much, Ruthie, for being here.
Thanks, Jeff. This has been fun. Let's do it again.
All right. I believe we are officially off of the television show now. And so once again, thank you to everybody online. We're going to go ahead and say goodbye to Ruthie. Since we're offline, thank you everybody for the tips. We always split the tips. If you don't have any money, please don't even think about it. If you do, you're helping out a couple of underemployed musicians, and that's a beautiful thing. Otherwise, tune in for all the ham stuff today, and I sure appreciate it. Thank you, Ruthie.
You're welcome.
Give a little kiss to Maya for me, okay?
I will. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to click the offline. Thanks for everybody sticking with us.